Coming up on Sports Weekly, we got your high school baseball highlights. The Aquinas Falcons moving on to the CIF Southern Section Division II semifinals. Plus, San Bernardino enjoying their best season in decades, taking on Banning in the second round in Division 7. Then we'll hit the softball diamond with Cajon and Aquinas, both trying to advance out of the second round in Division 3. And then it's the college baseball diamond. We will head up to Cal State Monterey Bay as Cal State San Bernardino is trying to win the CC2A postseason tournament. Plus, big news for Arroyo Valley High School Athletic Director Matt Howe. He is your CIF Southern Section Athletic Director of the Year. Big news there. And finally, some football news as we check in with the great Nate Metters. Former San Gorgonio High School star, played in the NFL, just wrapped up a season in the XFL. All that and more coming up on this edition of Sports Weekly on IEMG, and it starts right now. And what is up, everybody? Welcome to Sports Weekly on IEMG. I am your host, Pep Fernandez. We appreciate you tuning in. High school baseball and softball CIF Southern Section playoffs in this segment. And we're going to start with the Aquinas baseball team. The Falcons are the only local team from the city of San Bernardino still alive in the CIF playoffs. The Falcons have advanced to the CIF Southern Section Division II semifinals. In the quarterfinals, the Falcons at home against Ocean View early on in this game. That's Nathan Chrisman cranking a 2-run home run to spot Aquinas the early lead, and they would not look back. They win 7-2 in the quarterfinals, so now they move on to the semifinals. For the third year in a row, they will host Crespi in the D2 semis on Tuesday. After the game, head coach Mike Carpentier talking about this year's squad, and they got some big goals.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun to get to the Final Four. We have the last couple of years. We got to get over that hump and get to the finals. I mean, that's what it's about. That's what we've been playing since day one for. And we're happy to have that opportunity right now. Well, I mean, our schedule shows it all. We played in the PBR event to start the year, went out to North Carolina and played a lot of the top teams in the country and played in the Boris Classic. I mean, all those kind of teams battle test you and get you ready for late in the season like we have. And, our league has gotten a lot better, but those teams we played outside the league has gotten us, better for where we're at now.
Best of luck to Aquinas against Crespi in the D2 semis. Now let's move on to Division 7, where we find the San Bernardino Cardinals. And San Bernardino coming off their best season in years. In fact, they won their first league championship in maybe at least 3 decades. In fact, they're still checking the history books because they're not sure it's been that long, but they think it's been at least 30 years. So in the second round, San Bernardino at home against Banning. They won their opening round game against Edgemont 4-3. So in the second round, home against their former league rival, the Banning Broncos. Banning up 1-0 in this game. Augie Cowan on the bump for the Cardinals, and Cowan rolling along a couple strikeouts here. And later, Banning had a couple runners on base, including a runner on third. But Augie Cowan with another big K. He's a senior this season, so they're really going to miss that guy next year. 3 strikeouts there in the inning for Cowan to get out of that jam. So now San Bernardino at the plate and trying to engineer some runs. They were trailing 1-0. The single to center field, that will put runners on the corners for the Cardinals. And check out this play. Banning trying the pickoff move at second, and there goes John Gomez charging home, and he's safe. Look at Coach Doty up the third baseline, jumping around, fired up. The Cardinals tie the game at 1 apiece. It wouldn't be much later. San Bernardino would take the lead. Aiden Zuno, number 5, blasting that one to right center field. That'll bring home a run for the Cardinals. That's Isaiah Wells touching the plate. And Zuno comes in with a stand-up RBI triple for San Bernardino as they take the lead 2-1. That was in the bottom of the 5th inning. So let's fast forward to the top of the 6th, and Banning would get the tying run right back. The clean single to right field will drive home a run for Banning, so that makes the game 2-2. And then Sebastian Osornio coming up for the Broncos. He had a big game, and this was the biggest hit in the game for him, and the biggest hit in the game, period. Osornio with the 2-run RBI single to give Banning the 4-2 lead. And that would be it. Banning wins 4-2 the final score, so they move on out of the second round, but still the best season in years for San Bernardino and head coach Coach Doty as they are co-champions of the Mountain Valley League, a 3-way tie for first place. So congrats to the Cardinals, congrats to Coach Doty and the guys' best season in years. All right, now moving on to the softball diamond, CIF Southern Section Division III playoffs. We had Cajon and Aquinas in the playoffs on opposite sides of the bracket, so if they met, they would meet in the finals, but they had to get there first. Cajon with a very tough road game, taking on Santiago in Corona. Cajon with the early 1-zip lead, but then it was Ashley Mejia with a home run, a solo home run. That would tie the game at 1 apiece. So we would go all the way to extra innings. So we go to the bottom of the 9th. It is still 1-1. And then this happened. It's going to be a solo walk-off home run to left center field. And that would do it for Santiago. They end Cajon's season. 2-1 the final score in 9 innings. A great year for Cajon. Your Division 5 champs from a year ago bumped up to D3. Still had a great season. So Aquinas also in Division 3. They were on the road at Cypress in a very low-scoring game. Some great pitchers in the circle in this one. Aquinas just could not muster any runs as they fall by a final score of 2-zip. And that means all of our local teams from the city of San Bernardino now out of the softball playoffs. In fact, as we mentioned, our only team from the Diamond still in the hunt for a CIF title is the Aquinas baseball team. All right, now moving on to college baseball here, and it was Cal State San Bernardino up at the CC2A postseason conference tournament. How about this, the way to start the conference tournament, taking on Cal Poly Pomona, and a walk-off grand slam for Garrett Macias as CSUSB wins that first game 10-6. They would find themselves in an elimination game against the host school, Cal State Monterey Bay, the number 1 seed. And guess what? Another walk-off win for the Coyotes coming up. Let's check it out. It was Deshaun Stevenson right here in the bottom of the 9th inning, tied at 15. Stevenson knocks in the winning run to force one more game at the tournament, a winner-take-all. Unfortunately, Cal State Monterey Bay would win that game, but the season is not over for Cal State San Bernardino. They lost 13-9 in the conference tournament title game, but now they go on to the NCAA Division II tournament for the first time in school history, and it gets better. They will actually host a regional at Fiscalini Field Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of this week. So we will definitely bring you an update next week on the Coyotes baseball team. All right, when we come back here on Sports Weekly, we're going to check in with the Athletic Director of the Year, Matt Howell from Arroyo Valley. That's next on Sports Weekly on IEMG.